Welcome to 38 Move Blunder. Today we're going to be talking about what does it take to become good at chess. I have a couple sources brought up that we're going to look at. One is how do kids start these days? What do they do? How many hours are kids training? That'll let us know as an adult improver what we need to be doing on our off times, on the very few minutes that we get to ourselves, like when they're at school. Okay, we are going to look at this right here first. Hold on one second. Okay, so with this, mastery requires 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, with time, commitment increasing, and difficulty rising as ratings climb. So, younger players, beginners, I myself fall under this category even though I'm 38. Under 10 to 14. High intensity. A future GM might start at 7. Okay, putting in 20 hours a week. All right, that's like 2.5, 3 hours ish a day. Where do we have that kind of time as an adult? When they're asleep, when they're at school, early mornings. Today I put in training on Chesley, and I did 1 hour as I was walking on, I'm going to call it a treadmill, but it's a circuit that I walk around my house. And it's clear of all obstructions, so I can just focus on my pad. And I don't know if you can see that, but I spent an hour and 6 seconds doing 77 drills on Gotham Dutch, which is quite a bit of time. So I fit it in while I was working out. You can fit it in a couple of different ways, and an hour a day is not what children are putting in, but maybe you can sneak in a little bit of time over the weekend like I'm going to. Obsession pays. Players under 10 who are obsessed can gain 300 rating points yearly with intense play and study. Well, guess what? I gained almost 600 points last year. It wasn't hard because I really did start at bare minimum, but I'll show you that later. Intermediate to advanced players, ages 11 to 18, so they have more sustained effort, even at advanced levels, continuing 20 hours a week, around 3 hours a day, typical for steady progress, though gains are slower. And I hear that's about the time that chess starts getting year grinding. I'm not entirely sure I want to make it that far, actually, because you can play a perfect chess game and it's a draw. That is what a perfect chess means. I don't like perfect chess. I like checkmating. I like the tactics and neat things where it gets a little messy. So we might not ever make that. That's fine. So more time is spent on middle game strategy and end game technique, not just basic moves. Okay? The elite players, GMs and top pros, spend 4 to 8 hours a day. As an adult improver with children, that's never going to happen for me. They can do it, that's fine, that's their job. Right now, my job is keeping the kids alive. And other things too. I have some side hustles. Anyway, deliberate practice involves focused study on openings, middle games, end games, and master games, and not just playing. So there's no fixed schedule. Hours are flexible, driven by goals and passion, but consistency is key. Deliberate practice, the quality of study or focused training matters as much as the quantity. That's important too. As a beginner, you can start with a YouTube video that you saw. Okay, this is how you do the Italian game. Anyone play that Italian game where you're supposed to checkmate them in like 8 moves and it doesn't work. That's because there are sidelines and other things that if you don't check them out or have someone step by step teach you, like many of the paid training programs will do, a beginner's just not going to find those things. So I am switching this around here so we can do some more. What I want to show you now is how I've climbed over the last year and where I started implementing different things. In the very beginning of my chess journey, okay, we're just over a year. Last December 1st, I was at 187, dropped down to 152, almost to 0, okay? I would get on and play people that were doing the fried liver, and I just didn't understand what that was all about until I took a notebook, opened it up, and wrote down every move and variation of the fried liver and practiced it against bots. Once I got that, that is actually one of the things that if someone plays it against me, I end up checkmating them pretty quickly. So we know the refutation of the fried liver. I highly recommend you look up how to not lose to the fried liver. If you can't find it, I will make a video on that later. So I gained, almost double. So 295 from 152, almost double. And at that point, I got scared. I was scared to lose ELO because I would lose some games and then I stopped playing other people. I only played bots. And then I would play again and I would lose to the Wayward Queen attack. Also Scholar's Mate. I never got Scholar's Mated, but it starts the same way. So that was another chapter in my little book, is how to not lose to those. And then I finally got over the fear of losing ELO and realized it is not what you learn, it is how you implement it. And you really need to just be playing games, playing. And I was learning and not putting it into practical use against other people. So I started playing other people, and really I grew pretty quickly there. I started the the free week on chess.com. So you can put in all your information and start a free week where they give you unlimited game review and all of that. But I really grinded out all of their lessons. On chess.com, there's like a little pathway and you follow it up and learn all the lessons. And it really went in depth on forks, skewers, and different tactical things that you need to know on top of not blundering pieces to get a little bit higher. So once I got there, my rating increased dramatically because I could see all of the different ways the knight could move to fork pieces. And then I just kept going there, played quite a few little games. My goal after that week was done was to just play a really good game and do the free game review because I didn't want to pay. I don't typically like paying for things. So, not at all. Anyway, I don't like paying for things, so I did not continue the trial. I did not pay money to learn the chess. That all the tools were there. I don't need game review because it leads you into different directions that you're not going to put into your own head, if that makes sense. I will do a video on how I review games, not using game review, and maybe you'll understand what I do to not pay but still understand using a review. Now, let's see, I started the free week of Chessley and got hooked on it, so I bought it. That is one thing that I did buy because I'm interested to see what happens in the pawn shop. There's this thing. I'll go and do a review on Chessley so you understand what the pawn shop is and all of the different things I'm not going to cover in this specific video. So, I hope that made sense. There was a lot of information in 10 minutes. The training schedule for an adult improver needs to be similar to what a young child does to improve their own ELO if their parents are pushing them to be a grandmaster. We can fit in 3 hours here and there, try and get 20 hours a week. Ultimate goal, if we ever reach 10,000 and we're under 60, that would be great. I plan to be a very old lady with a sharp brain when I'm 60. That's probably not very old either. Anyway, to review, we have to grind out some lessons in various ways, try and get some hours in during the week, and play good games and review them. That way our ELO grows. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds. Upcoming videos will include preparation for the daily chess tournament on chess.com that starts December 30th, and we're going to be participating in their daily chess. I believe they're going to give me about 22 games, but I have a day to make a move on each of those games. And as long as I make good moves, daily chess is something that is very nice. I will show you how daily chess goes as we prep for this tournament. Our goal for the tournament is to reach the midway point at least. I know low ELO players are probably going to be not kicked out, but I'm going to lose games and that'll put me lower and lower on the brackets until I'm finally just out. But until then, we want to get, and I'll review, until then, we'll review the games and try and go for those great move prizes or the daily review prizes. Did you know there's prizes? I'll do another video on that here pretty soon. Until then, let's blunder forward together, and I will see you later.